A warm, bright sun shone on this town far from Central City. People chatted as they walked down the streets that stretched beyond a sky tragically brown with dust. Merchants take to talk to their customers beside busy stormforms in an ignatial through the buildings. It was a large town, but unlikely the city here there were no tense looks or horrific sounds of the conqueror's voice calling out the station might without the blowing of the whistle. It was a calm, peaceful morning. An unlikely scream tore through the silence of one peaceful corner of Duluth. Nearby pedestrians stopped in their tracks, looking to see it had came from shortly after, following the sound of something large, metallic clinging to the ground. In the delicate of the sounds of stood a small shop with a sign reading meat. That's enough yelling out of you. On your feet. A woman stood behind the butcher shop chewing out two boys laying on the ground before ouch. Eric Aldrich ground called to his head. In his hands were laying in all the tall grass. Edward was a streaky little boy of 15. How long his blond hair tied in a braid, the eyes of the color gold, his short and wavy frame blade as gallied muscular body as fierce like a gazelle, somehow managed both strong and childlike at once, yelling gently automail on his left leg and right arm, struggling to suppress hard past one so young. Next to him, his brother Alphonse Ulrich laid on his back, looking up at the sky. Alphonse, a year younger than Edward, was a kind boy with a gentle manner, though he appeared at first graceful to inside that suit, only air and a gulfly down of body that Eric bonded with his soul of metal armor. The Eric brothers had forbidden human alchemy, and entire Edward automail limbs, and Alphonse armored body for the trouble. That was 4 years ago, since Edward became a state alchemist. Now, traveling with Alphonse, searching for a way to restore their former bodies. Though the journey is such a curious into the mystery of human alchemy had not been easy. They had seen more and done more than any other children their age, and had the strength to split their bodies. They carry the burden of the hard past on the bricks of walking as the difficult road. Yet most times the reference to cry or to yell to challenge their face. This, however, was not one of those times I can just lay here for a while. Maybe that like the whole night. Somehow I expected how you feel, Ed. The two brothers The two boys looked up from where they lay on the ground. The woman who mentored before had cherry tossed them through the air. It was Izumi Kitis, the mentor, the one who had taught both the alchemy from a young age. With a simple wrist dress worn above a black torso and hair braided at the top, her head Izumi looked like Alchemy Advantage housewife. Her shoulders were short and several ended were pale, with her ankles that peeked out of her sandals and were made of casual opposite, wondering just where the strength to take down the two boys in their prime had come from. She was ill, too, so ill that regularly caught the blood and never went far without her medication. Though Izu as fairly might remind, the two worlds could be far apart. She had endured several training in mentoring so high they never shed their caps of snow. She had once killed a bear with nothing but a hunting knife, and skill mental arts proved that then enough to throw Edward and Alphonse without so much as breaking a sweat. Few people in the world could make those two boys pay for mercy, but Izumi was the one of them. It just like me does. It seems like she'd gotten stronger since they've been gone. It's just me, or does it seem she's gotten stronger since we're gone? I think the same thing, man. There's thought, and then sir, stop gouging and get on your feet. We'll spare one more cent and 100 push-ups and 15 miles. Do it or you'll get no dinner. 15 miles? Can you be serious? Edward put his hands on the ground, lifting himself, looking up next to Alphonse, who was sitting half in the grass, looking dazed. It was her. She was always serious. Back when they had first came to her asking to become her students, she had tested their basic abilities by banning them in a desert island for an entire month. Izumi always said, in order to train, you must first train the body, and she stuck it to making them prefer one gouging task after the other. Edward got on his feet, ready to face her again, with his knees buckled behind him. It wasn't had understand why he had been thrown or pushed through the air at least 35 times already today. Come on, let's hustle. Don't tell me you can't even get up. Izumi started out her hand, plopped outward, waving her fingers as if to say, come on. Edward stood on his shaky feet. No matter what troubles forced him, he never got up. He never backed down. He wasn't about to start now. So is that all you got? Edward thrusted, 1 foot down, lunging forward, first to raise. Izumi shook her head. I don't think you had two attitude yet. The conquering caught Edward in his stomach, and once again he flew up into the air, then fell down, landing with a thud on the grass.